Should you move to the Seattle, Washington area? Well, in this video, I'm going over the top 5 reasons that people are moving to Seattle, Washington. So stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe here and hit that bell so you get notified whenever I put out a new video about what it's like living over here in the Seattle metropolitan area. People just like yourself from YouTube here reach out to me all the time when they're looking to move over here and purchase a home. I am an active real estate agent in the Seattle metropolitan area, so if you're coming over here, need some help finding that right neighborhood and purchasing a home over here, feel free to reach out to me here at my info on the screen. Be more than happy to help you through that process. But like I said, on today's video, I'm gonna go over the top 5 reasons people are moving to the Seattle, Washington area. Now, this is from my personal experience from helping out so many of you that have reached out to me here from YouTube. The reasons that people are telling me that they are moving over here. I've got a very, good sized sample and mix of people that have moved over here from different states. So I feel like this is a good, well-rounded list of the top reasons that people are actually moving over here, and some of these might apply to you. So number 1 is pretty obvious, and that's jobs. So Seattle metropolitan area is a great hub. If you're coming over here looking for a new job, or maybe you've already accepted a job, or you're living where you're currently at, California, whatever state you're in, and you're looking at options, you want to start exploring jobs in other states before you make the move, Seattle has a very robust job market. Of course, number 1 at the top of that is the tech field. So you've got companies like Amazon and Google and Facebook, GoDaddy, Microsoft, of course. There's a ton of other tech companies around here as well, other than those big behemoths. There's a lot of other smaller tech companies in this Seattle metropolitan area. So great job opportunities with high, paying wages. Along with the tech industry, you've got the healthcare industry. There are many top-rated healthcare and hospitals around here, cancer research. There is some great healthcare job opportunities in this area. You've got maritime. We're right on the Puget Sound, right on the water. So you've got some maritime jobs. Education is huge over here. There's a lot of different universities, public and private. There's, of course, high school, public schools and private high schools, and elementaries and middle schools, of course. So there's a lot of different education opportunities over here in the Seattle metropolitan area as well. Lastly, another really popular one for people to be moving over here is aerospace. Everybody knows we've got Boeing here in the Seattle metropolitan area. So if you're moving over here to take a job at Boeing, you can do that. You've also got SpaceX offices over here. So I've had a client that moved over here from Iowa who was taking a job at SpaceX. So there is plenty of aerospace opportunities over in the Seattle metro. All right, number 2 reason here, and this might sound a little weird to some of you, but this is the weather and the picturesque scenery. So the weather over here, for some people, might not be your jam, but for a lot of people, myself included, I've lived in other areas as well. Myself, I love the weather here because we have much more mild temperatures and mild weather here than many different other locations in the US. I personally went to school at Boise State University in southern Idaho, and it was more extreme temperatures. The summer was extremely hot. It was over 90, 100 degrees on a very consistent basis, and the winter was very cold. It snowed all the time. It was freezing cold. I know there are, a lot of you that are moving from many locations where your summers, whether you're coming from Texas or somewhere down south, where the summers are very hot and just not doable for you. On the flip side of that, there's locations that some of you are coming from where the winters are just absolutely miserable because all it does is snow and it's constantly freezing cold. In Seattle, on average, you're not having to deal with that stuff very often. You'll get a few hiccups here and there. Like last summer, we had a stretch of a few days where it was over 90, over 100 degrees, lasted a few days, went back to normal. You've got some stretches in the winter. Usually it seems like every winter we get one quote-unquote snowstorm, and it depends what your definition of snowstorm is. But over here, it might snow for 2 or 3 days. We might get 6, 8, maybe 12 inches if it's really bad, and everything will shut down for a few days because, well, we're not prepared for snow over here. We don't have the support with snow plows and everything to take care of that, so everything will just shut down. Everybody will take off work and we'll just be staying at home for a couple of days. That seems to only happen once a year, and like I said, it's a couple of days. The rest of the winter is typically very pleasant. Median temperatures in the winter months are hovering right around the 40s, sometimes up into the mid 40s, and then in the summer months, your median temperatures are in the high 70s, low 80s. Absolutely perfect for those summer months. So you can actually go out and enjoy that weather, but it's not too hot where you just feel like you're outside and you're dying. But it's still warm enough where you can go enjoy the Puget Sound and the lakes and all these different activities we have here in the Seattle metropolitan area. Along with that is the picturesque scenery. We are in the Pacific Northwest. There is no place more beautiful than the Pacific Northwest. All the greenery around here, it's just an absolutely beautiful place to be. We've got mountains everywhere. You'll see snow-capped mountains. Like I said, evergreen trees all over the place. We've got many different lakes and the Puget Sound. You know, there's beautiful architecture around here as well. So it is a very beautiful place to live and kind of a scenery that you can't get anywhere else in the country other than the Pacific Northwest. Now, the number 3 reason people are moving over here is things to do. This kind of wraps in with picturesque scenery and weather, recreational things to do. With us living on the Puget Sound and by so many lakes, you can go swimming, you can go kayaking, you can go paddleboarding, you can take out the boat and go water skiing and wakeboarding and tubing. You can take out the paddleboard. I don't know if I said that. You can go canoeing and kayaking, whether that's in the Sound or on a lake. You can go hiking, of course. If you want to go hiking, there's no place better than the Pacific Northwest. There are so many beautiful hikes around here. You can go mountain biking, you can go cycling, you can take the kids out to all the many different parks we have around here and play at the parks and you know, play sports and all these different things. There is so much to do in the Seattle metropolitan area. You're never going to run out of outdoor recreation opportunities. And like I said, since the temperatures on average are more mild around here in the Washington area, you can enjoy more time outside. It's not going to be so freezing cold in the winter on the most part where you just don't want to go outside whatsoever. Same thing in the summer. It's not going to be so hot that you don't want to go outside. You can go outside all year round around here and experience some different types of activities. Number 4 reason is schools and education. So whether that's high schools, there's a lot of great, well-rated public school districts for elementary, middle, and high schools in this area. You can go to goodschools.org or niche.com. These are some great resources to look up some of the school districts in this area, but some very, very high-rated school districts in this Seattle metro area over here. You've also got plenty of private schools for those kiddos under 18, whether that's high school, middle school, or elementary school. There are a lot of great private schools in this area as well. Moving through to college and university, you've got the University of Washington here on the north side of Seattle, and you've got some great private colleges here as well, like Seattle Pacific University and PLU and Seattle U. There's some amazing places for education opportunities here in the Seattle metro area. All right, and the number 5 reason, and this is a pretty big one for a lot of people, and this is the no state income tax. So a lot of you that I've helped out have come from California, and where you're paying a very high state income tax. Here in Seattle, in Washington, you don't have state income tax. So you're saving, depending what you were paying from whatever state you're coming from, maybe you're saving anywhere from 7 to 11% on your annual income by not having to pay that state income tax. That's a big chunk of change that can go elsewhere to improve your lifestyle. That can make up for the difference in home prices and get you a little bit nicer of a home, or you can live in a little bit nicer of a neighborhood, or you can send your kid to a private school that you couldn't really afford before if that's something that's important to you, or you have more money for those recreation activities, or to travel. If you really enjoy traveling, maybe that frees up some money that you can use to go travel. So this is a really important factor for a lot of people, that you are saving quite a bit of money on not having those state income taxes. All right, well, this wraps up my list of the top 5 most popular reasons that people are moving over here to the Seattle Metro. Like I said, I'm an active real estate agent over here, so if you're making the move over here, you need some help on buying a home and finding that right neighborhood for you, feel free to reach out to me here at my info on the screen. Be more than happy to help you through that process and make that transition, that move on you a little bit easier when you're coming over here. I appreciate you watching this one.